Hi there, it's Susan from SusanWinter.net. Thanks for joining me again. I have more questions and answers, and today I have a question from Michelle Grenier. Now, she's asked specifically about women dating over 40. I'd rather open with a generic conversation about dating over 40, men and women, straight and gay, pros and cons, and then go into her very specific question. You see, it is a different ballgame. Dating over 40, the one thing that we all have in common is that we know ourselves. We know what works. We have experience being a partner. This separates you from some of the Gen Z and millennial confusion where people don't yet know themselves because they're not fully formed. They haven't had enough time. You've had a partnership. You may have had a marriage. You may have children, which makes both men and women grow up and be responsible very quickly. So knowing these factors, you have more preference, and you also have more of a sense of elimination. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Here's what's good about being over 40 and dating. You definitely know what you want, and you can state it clearly, and you have a track record of being successful in relationships. Here's the downside. There's less choice. Some of the people have been swooped up and they're in relationships. Another sad thing is you get people who are harmed and broken. There is more baggage. There's more baggage after 40 because more people have had their dreams shattered. Now, a healthy person, somebody who's doing the kind of work that you're doing, even watching these videos, educating yourself, reading, studying, anything you can do to make yourself a better dater and a better partner. Your job is to process and package your past and make sure that your baggage is, travel size. Because the more that we love, the more that we cycle through relationships, the more that we learn about ourselves. Love does not come without consequence. It's almost impossible, no, it is impossible to love and never experience hurt. It's part of the equation. We got to get with it. It's not going to change. There's nothing you can do to make that change. If you love, you are going to feel some pain. It's just the way it is. The job nowadays is not to eliminate loving, to eliminate pain. The job is to process your past and be able to re-experience this wonderful, perhaps the most fantastic drug on earth, and the merging of yourself with another human being. So those are the gifts that we get in dating over 40. You know yourself. The elimination process that I mentioned earlier, not to worry about it. Unlike a 20-something-year-old that likes to walk on the beach and enjoys, dancing in the sand, you've got a lot of specific preferences and a lot of don't likes. You want to eliminate right off the top, make sure that somebody wants what you want, and you know the game. You're not going to be fooled, okay? You've been around the block, you've seen patterns, you lived with people, you've had a partner, you know what this is all about. You are going to, in a way, be better prepared for whatever comes your way. Now, to answer Michelle, okay, I'm going to answer your question specifically, okay? Michelle Grenier writes, "Hi, Susan. Can you make a video on tips for online dating for women over 40 or red flags to spot in men online?" Okay, Michelle, like some of the other people your age, you may not have been dating online. Your first relationship may have been a social introduction or a personal ad, which is what used to happen. So this new monster, this online dating, you have a technical curve that you have to learn. There are lots of videos and articles on online dating. There will be things that will seem incongruous to you, like why does somebody chat you up and disappear into the ethers? This doesn't make sense. They weren't serious. There's a lot of I like you, I like you, I like you, then poof, I'm gone. There's even the first date that you think is phenomenal, and suddenly he just walks away, and you don't know what's going on. Because the truth is, online, you know what they want you to know. It's not a real life. You don't know if this person is married. You don't know if they're living with somebody else. You don't know if they just got a divorce. Even when they say they want a relationship, you don't know. I used to compare personal ads from guys who said, I used to read, what was it, New York Magazine, right? And there would be a personal ad under the relationship section, and the guy would be very specific, like 6'2", rugby player, went to Cambridge. Then you look under the, I don't know, whatever it was, like sexual flings or whatever. Same guy. Now he wants to do, all sorts of kinky stuff. Same guy, right? You don't know. They're going to show you what they think you want to see. So you've got to be smart. And again, like anything else that we've talked about, know what you want and be able to articulate it to the person in front of you. But one red flag I have for you that drives me absolutely crazy, that I think you should watch out for. The minute you see a guy who says, my kids come first, run. Do not walk, run. Eliminate that profile. My kids come first is code for you are never getting into the inner circle. Oh, I'll sleep with you? You're not getting a relationship. I got hurt by my last wife. I'm done with that. I'm here to have a good time. Even if it says, I'm looking for my soulmate. That word or any behavior that is like it. Because I'll tell you how a real guy does it when he wants to be involved. A real guy lets you into his life. A real guy understands, yes, I have kids. And blended families are not always easy, but millions of people do it. And I am willing to include you in my life. So Michelle, look for a man who is willing to include you in the totality of his life, not be his side chick that he sees and then keeps his family separate from you. Yes, obviously there's a time where you are protecting your kids. You don't want them to be attached to somebody that's not going to be around. I get that, especially with the trauma of a divorce. But if you find that kind of a statement, I would just skip to the next person. I don't care what he looks like or what he does. That person is telling you straight up, you're never getting in. And this is the problem over 40, Michelle, for people like yourself. Men who are wounded, their dream of partnership was broken, and their divorce has made them mistrust love and the whole thing around love and romance. And men are far more romantic and sensitive than we have ever given them credit for. I know this. And they hurt more terribly than we do when we're sobbing to our girlfriends, because it's much deeper and it's much more confusing for them. Look for a man who wants to include you in his life, who has space and room to bring you to the inner circle, to introduce you to his friends, to introduce you to his family, and in time to introduce you to his children if he has them. And if you follow that kind of a man, you will be fine. Thanks, Michelle, for your question. Thanks, all of you. I appreciate all of your comments. Again, if you'd like to work with me personally, please go to my website, susanwinter.net. Love to work with you one-on-one. That is where I really get to know you, and that's where we get to see true results. Thanks so much.